We're just waiting for you guys. Get your stuff together. What do you mean by you guys? All you guys. I know that you know who you are because, you know, when we talk, blah, 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 but all those people out there that look just like you, they're included in where your mindset's supposed to be. As far as the international people, they know that the more that the Negroes stay Negroes, the less help that they can give. Because they're not helping U.S. Corporation. They're not helping Canada Corporation. Because anytime they can pick up and go back where they come from. And those corpses are gonna lose that energy that they've been getting. But people also know that this is the land of milk and honey. They also know that this is the promised land. So if we're gonna go anywhere in the world, as far as international people, how about we come over here? Instead of staying where we're at, or, you know what I mean? As the constitutional activity with us accelerates, there's going to be the opposite side doing what it is that they have to do to try to decelerate what it is that we're doing. So, you know, it's like what Brother Taj Bey says is that, you know, don't think international community is not looking at what's going on in the Americas. Don't think that you know, when Moors have their testimonials and they're talking about international people recognizing them as Moors. You know, Brother Sheldon just put up, he was talking with a brother from Palestine who knew that over here is Morocco. And he was like, everybody knows that. If you don't know that, you're stupid or whatever, basically, right? With them knowing all this information and not being able to put it out unless they're in the presence of a Moor. The brother Mason that put out his video talking about Noble Juali, referencing Noble Juali, Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Science Temple, you know, we're not Negro, black, colored. All of these things are part of the constitutional mindset being reinvigorated in people because of the activity of Moors who stand up for constitutional things. When I went to pick up the papers, missed the delivery, so you gotta go give it a slip or whatever like that. So we gave it a slip. It's like, we got ID, put down, because they want mailing location to match the package, right? So put down Universal Zulu Nation card. What's this? Well, not just organizational card, but you know, that has the address that you need that's on the package. Like, well, this for organization, can't take this. All right. You got anything else? Not with the name that's on the package. Like, I have something with indigenous name, but not names. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, because I'm not a slave. You know, like a license is a slave document or whatever the slave document. She's like, really? Right? The older European lady, right? She's like, we need to talk a little bit more about this or whatever, right? So she's looking at the package. She's like, okay, what name's on the package? You know, strawman name. You know? Okay, so you have any ID with that name? I'm like, yeah, I have an ID with that name, but that's not my native name. That's a slave name. So if you want slave ID, I can give you that. If you want the other ID for who I really am, I can give you that. She's like, okay, let me see the whatever ID you got. So I put on the health card. She's like, okay, but this doesn't have an address on it. I need something with an address. Okay, well, here's a nationality card. Okay, but no, the two names are different. Which one, like what? You know what I mean, right? So I'm like, okay, if I was to call you white person, would you take that offensive? She's like, yeah, because I'm not white. I'm like, okay, I'm not black. That ID is black ID. That's a slave ID. This ID is Aboriginal Indigenous ID. I'd rather you take that one because that really identifies that I picked it up, not the slave picked it up. She's like, you got a website or something like that? Because I need to check this thing out a little bit more. Bam, bam, gave her the website. She gave me my stuff, and there was no issue. Now, we know that in the average scenario, it's not going out like that. You're either going home to get ID or something like that, or you have to, sign the back saying that somebody else is going to pick it up or whatever, right? She recognized that my mindset wasn't just the average black guy mindset, right? It wasn't fez or nothing like that, you know what I mean? It was just the engagement. Sticking to the constitutional perspective, sticking to the fact that we have the right to certain things. We have the right to have our own ID. We have the right to a nationality. Sticking to the things that are enforced by the Constitution would get you further with the people who are just average people out here that don't necessarily have an allegiance or whatever like that. They just, do their job, go to work, go to the grocery store, buy whatever, you know what I mean? They just want to live, right? The average human being. Whereas, let it be a highwayman or whatever like that, we have issues. Let it be some government office, or we can't accept that, that's not government ID, whatever like that. Let it be anything other than the common people, you're going to have an issue. The main issue is because those people have an unconstitutional complex. That their duty is to make sure that anything constitutional that comes up, they're oblivious in their mind as to what it is, or they're going to fight you on it that, no way. No way we can accept that ID. No way we're going to take taxes off. Well, we're going to only take 5%. We're not going to take the whole 15 or whatever it is that they decide to do. Right? The spirit of being successful in exercising your rights is knowing that you have a constitutional authority to exercise and express certain things when you realize that it's contrary to that. And people take it lightly, but everybody is waiting for what the Moors are going to say. That's why we read the article with the Black Lives Matter calling the Moors to come talk at their rally. Not him showing up to it. Them actually saying, well, you know what? We hear you guys talking about nationality or whatever. Could you guys come talk at our rally? Because we need, and again, that's in Florida, right? Which, if we are going to classify that as a jurisdiction, we're going to say that that's south. And then we know south is where the base chakra is. South is where, it's supposed to be dead there. But that's the only ones who actually said, you want a Moor to come speak at our rally. Invited a Moor to come talk at the rally about nationality and all that. Whatever they do with it after is up to them. But the point is that it was presented to them and they wanted it. Right? Which means that all these so-called civil rights people are now starting to get it in their head that civil rights isn't really working too well. And it hasn't been working too well, and it's time for us to go to the next level up. And the next level up outside of civil rights is constitutional rights. And across the board, Martin civil rights, whatever. Next level up was human rights. Malcolm, yeah, no worries. Malcolm, same thing. Civil rights, next level up, human rights. Right? Which all goes into the whole constitutional aspect. Right? Is there any questions? Well, also, Crown of England, Crown is corporation, not royalty. Crown's corporation, not royalty. So when they talk about Crown of England and all that, don't even get twisted and think that they're some type of royalty. They're not. Pontiff, or the Pope, the Pope is really Ptah. The Pope is really our ancient forefather from ancient Egypt. That's why Pope has the little fish hat or whatever. Because he's really adopted that stuff. And then keep in mind for us, the same concept of the IRS being created and not being part of the government is the same thing with CRA. Because CRA was created because of war measures and taxing because of the war. And when the war was over, all the taxes supposed to stop. Nobody's not supposed to be taxed anymore after the war. Right? Being that there's still taxing going on, either there's a war going on or somebody's robbing everybody. A couple online questions. So, any questions?
Yeah,
relative to this or anything else going on?
Yeah. You were saying that the other nationals, they know who we are, but they're waiting for us. But at the same time, they're here living off us just like the other vampires.
Right. Right.
So
and you know it's by default why they eat too.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
They're like sitting on the fence kind of thing.
Yeah. Because remember, they're nationals.
Yes.
It's not like they're not national.
But didn't they give up their sovereignty to come here?
Well,
to become naturalized?
They give it up here.
Yeah, and they came here and they gave it up.
Yeah, they gave it up, but it's only given up here.
Right.
It's not given up like
they can go back home.
They can go back. Whereas with us, once we give it up, once we naturalize, you abandon. Like that's it. There's nowhere else to go after that. Other than you go into, you know what I mean, the regency, right? And having them bring you back into the fold. Because they're the nationals for over here. Right? So like the African slave, whatever idea. Well, we're West African. We're not now over here. You better go to West Africa if you want to be West African.
Right.
You're not going to be West African in America.
Right.
Right? You know, and then King Alfred plan. You know, bound to the continent by heritage. So they can play like they're from somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the reality is that, you know, the majority of us from here. Because we were here before the land separated. So there's no, you know what I mean, us going back to anywhere. So you know, that's why in the Citizenship Act, when they talk about they lost their nationality, that Moors that naturalized lost their nationality. Right? As soon as they naturalized, they lost their nationality. But that's for the ones that are here.
Right.
The ones that are here completely lose it.